What's up, everybody? Welcome to 3D Rivals, your first line of defense against stupid movies. My name is DJ, and of course, I am joined by my co-host, my sister, Dominique, and my brother, Derek. Sorry.
What's up, everybody?
My friend Dan.
What's going on?
Today, we are going to be talking about Castaway, the 2000, or I should say year 2000, because saying 2000 just sounds weird, I guess. The year 2000 movie, Castaway with Tom Hanks. We're going to be talking about that, and it's a classic. Let's see. It's hard to say that, a movie from the 2000 is a classic, but it is.
It is.
21 years ago.
Yeah, I'm
decade.
Getting old.
Yeah.
So we'll give our thoughts on that, and if you want to watch it, you can watch it over on Amazon Prime. It is there at the moment.
Only for like 10 more days, apparently.
Oh, well, hurry and watch it.
You got to pay for it?
Probably.
I noticed it is a Fox movie, so maybe it's gonna hop on over to Disney Plus or something, probably.
Seems like a movie they would put on Disney Plus.
Definitely seems like a movie they'll put on Disney Plus.
Yeah.
See that? It's awful lot of dudes, but maybe they'll blur it out.
Yeah, that might make it a Hulu movie.
I'm like, I don't remember that.
Was wearing a
He was wearing his Tarzan rag, man.
Yeah, I was trying to think of what they called it in the Bible, but yeah, sang it up.
His
loincloth.
Yeah, his
loincloth. Yeah, there we go.
I was doing stuff while I was watching it, so I must have missed that.
Really? Like the whole second half of him on the island?
So a lot of loins.
No, loins I think is in the front. There. Those are your loins.
Oh, well, whatever. I don't know what the rules of Disney Plus is.
Okay.
Either way, I didn't think what I thought.
Now I forgot what I was going to say about the movie. I was going to say before I got into it, it's interesting like how old this movie looks. Like the movie looks fine, but just like, you know how when you watch an older movie, it has a certain look to it, right? Mm-hmm. And I'm like, wow, this is the year 2000? Man, it looks more like 80s. I don't know.
Is it because technically most of the movie takes place in 1995? And then after his 4 years on the island, that takes you to 1999.
Right. Maybe that's it.
Because I was thrown off like, why do they have pagers?
Yeah.
But
were pagers still a thing in 2000?
I don't think it was not enough to give someone a pager. Like he gifted her a pager.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, 2000. Yeah, I was in 10th grade.
I don't know. I don't know because by that time everyone would have also had a cell phone. Like if you gave me a gift, I'd rather you would have gifted me a cell phone than a pager.
Oh, okay.
So that's not going. Cell phones didn't get really big, and you talk about like the brick phones. To like maybe 2003, 2004.
That's not true.
That's
not true at all.
When did those Nokias come out?
Them Nokias was the early 2000s.
Those phones?
Because he said the brick phone. The brick phone is the 80s and the early 90s. By the early 2000s, when those Nokias was out, and that's when everyone started having a cell phone.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, Derek, I think she got you. The Nokia 3310 was out in the year 2000.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And that's
I'm just thinking about like
to what we used to have.
Maybe I don't know, like maybe because of being a kid, I was just like it wasn't a lot of people in high school with a cell phone.
Well,
like
it was high school students. I mean, now all the high school students have cell phones, but it wasn't a thing. We when I was in high school, everybody didn't have a phone.
I guess I'm saying like that's where my thinking is just like people who I saw with cell phones were very few. Majority of the people I knew had pagers, not cell phones.
Yeah, but I get where Dominique is coming from. Like the adults at that time, like yeah, I would rather you give me a Nokia or rather than a pager. But since
Right.
it takes place in '95, it kind of makes more sense.
Yeah, and I was wondering if maybe
Yeah.
it seems older is because the beginning of the movie takes place in the past. But I don't know, maybe that wasn't intentional and maybe that's just how it was shot and maybe it's just an old movie. Don't know.
Yeah,
I mean, it is an old movie. It's
it is an
21
old
years
movie.
old, so-
21 years old. Yeah, that's very true. I like the story of the movie. It's a bit slower, but it's not boring. Like you follow it, it's interesting. Even from the beginning, like it took a little bit for him to actually crash and be stuck on the island, but they really built up that rapport with who he was and then his relationship with what Kelly was it?
Yeah.
Yeah, his relationship with Kelly and everything. And then they did that scene where you're like, well, I mean, we all know what Castaway is, but if we didn't, you knew something was going to happen to him with them leaving in the car and he gave her the ring for the gift. And it was like, oh, I'll be back in a moment, like,
Yeah, it's like, I'll be right back. And I'm like, no, you won't.
No, you won't. A little harsh, but we know that.
Yeah, I agree. Like I do think like to me I understand the beginning, especially when you had a guy who was, so consumed with being on time and then he's stuck on an island where time isn't really a thing anymore. So I get them having to establish that. I do think they could have shortened the beginning up just a little bit.
hmm
Because it took about a half an hour to get to that crash.
yeah, it took a while.
Right.
Yeah, but I think that so even though it had like a slow beginning, what Darren said is like you're sort of invested in it. I think that what they did well because it's not an action movie. Not a lot happens. I mean, he spends 70% of the movie talking to himself. Is that I think the ability to get you to care about the character was done very well, which kind of really makes this movie.
Yeah, if you don't care about him, then this movie's just trash.
Yeah.
It was like,
Yeah, pretty much.
why do we care? Why do we care about that? Yeah, so yeah, they had to build some kind of backstory for him.
Yeah.
Of course, he has
So-
to be in love. There has to be somebody that misses him.
Yeah.
Mhm.
But
There you go.
what I did like, what they didn't do the old cliche like he gets off the island and he gets the girl and happy ever after.
Yeah.
Like he doesn't really have a happy ending.
No.
And I think that was kind of like a nice touch to not do what you were expecting to happen.
They
Yeah,
kind of
true.
insinuated that he was about to have a happy ending, but they just didn't show us.
They didn't show it. Yeah, I'm going to talk about that a little bit more, but yeah. But I mean,
Yeah,
I guess standard movie is Kelly waits for him.
Which
And he gets the girl.
nobody's waiting 5 years. Like
It
you would
was
assume
4
he's
years,
dead.
and he moved on kind of quick, but whatever.
Did she move
Right,
on kind of
more than
quick?
a year.
I think
I
she
think a
moved
month.
on
I
kind
don't
of
think so.
No. He would like. What are the chances he was alive? Like let's be real. What are the chances he was alive?
Oh, I mean, probably 0 to none, but I felt like she moved on in like 6 months. And then to the dude's dentist? Like, how do you go
Not
to, like,
exactly
he's not
his
your
dentist.
dentist. He's his
He
dentist.
did a root canal on him.
He worked on him once.
Oh, okay. So how
was
do
a
you
root
hook
canal.
up with your dude's dentist friend?
Small town.
Like, how does that meeting happen? He wasn't at the funeral?
So she can't meet him somewhere else. I don't understand.
I don't know. It was just a tight circle. And I'm like, you can go outside the circle?
All right, I honestly don't think that she moved on quickly. Like it's
Oh, I don't have a problem with it at all. She didn't wait. I don't have a problem with it because, like you
So you're
said,
saying you would have moved on. You would have moved on quick, Dominique.
I mean, when you put it like that, I'm saying no, I don't have a problem with it because, I mean, like you said, a plane crashes, they can't find it, 5 people on board, odds are that the guy is dead. I don't have a problem with how fast she moved on at all, no.
Yeah. I mean, like I would have assumed that he was dead.
Yeah.
But yeah, everything else was done well. It's really interesting shots. Like I like how, especially in the beginning when he got to the island, Or even no, when they started the movie, like the camera's like following this package, and
Oh, yeah.
I was wondering how they were going to tie that in, especially since they picked up like the angel wings package from the lady in the beginning. I was like, well, why don't we start there? And I was wondering, why didn't we start with his speech in Russia? Like, I don't understand why we were doing that, but it comes full circle at the end of the movie, which is nice.
It does.
Yeah,
It's like that, dude. My wife sent you a package. You in Russia cheating on her with some chick. Like, okay. I'm
Yeah.
like, wow, what does this have to do with Castaway?
Yeah, I mean, that to me makes me feel like maybe him and Bonita, because that was her name, was meant to be together, because the movie opens and closes with her basically.
Mm.
In that same
It
crossroad.
opens, yeah, because it opens with her at the ranch. You see her husband name and her name on the little archway. She's sending her husband a package. Dude is dirty. He in Russia with another girl, you know. And then at the end of the movie, you see her ranch again. The husband's name is now gone. Tom Cruise, his symbol of hope was her package that she was sending. He delivers it. She's not there, but then he meets her at the crossword. And like you said, like the ending doesn't show where he goes, but I kind of believe that he follows her, and then that's his happily ever after.
Yeah.
Y'all see what I mean by when she doesn't get enough sleep and she kind of gets delirious?
I was gonna leave it. It's Tom Hanks,
What?
but it's
What do you
Tom
mean?
Hanks. You said Tom
What did I?
Cruise.
Oh,
You said Tom Cruise.
whatever. You know what time I went to bed today? 5 a.m. Leave me
You
alone.
see, and there we go.
Random bounce.
Right.
Yeah, I see. I didn't even know I said that. My apologies, Tom Hanks.
See,
That's
you're on
okay.
the inside. We're on the outside.
Okay.
all right.
Anyways, but y'all get what I'm saying? Like, I
Yes.
think that they were meant to
Yeah.
be together.
Yeah, that was
Okay.
it was a nice little touch. There were some other camera angles, like when the flashlight was dying and like panning out where like the moon shining through the little cave thing. I think that there was some interesting shots. Huh?
Why do you feel the need to flash this light at her picture every 2 seconds and let the freaking battery die?
Like,
Like, what? I
dude,
mean, like you can't wait, bro. Wait till
I
the
had some
daytime. You can stare at her all
problems.
day.
like you have the sun.
I had some problems with his some of his decisions, especially when he first got to the island. But we'll we'll get to well, I guess I can move on to that. Those are more nitpicks, but I don't have a lot of negatives about the movie. I thought they did a decent job with it. There wasn't anything in there that I was like, I don't like this, you know. Maybe when he was on the plane, why did he go for the watch? Like stay in his seat. But I guess he would have died. So
We know what that was about.
Yeah.
The sentimental ties to
Yeah. But I believe, like you said, him not being in the seat might have saved him.
mhm.
Yeah. What else? Yeah, I think it might have saved him. Yeah, like you said, there wasn't a lot that I didn't like about the movie, and like you brought about the shots. Like I liked the single shots where it's just the camera still, but you're seeing him moving. Like especially like you said when he first on the island and he's kind of just sitting there.
Mhm.
I thought that was like an excellent shot, and I think they used that type of shot well throughout the movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was saying that he was on the island and he like really didn't get any days off because obviously they're just kind of documenting what he does. It's like he wanders into the frame and he wanders out of the frame. That was basically how they shot it.
Yeah.
So so he gave you that vibe. You kind of was like immersed in the movie to like you're like, man, this dude really is lost. Like you feel like you lost. You don't feel like there's people walking around him with cameras and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So like I think that was a good way to film it so that we feel lost with him, kind of, if I'm making sense.
Yeah, I get it. Because I in my notes I said like how we're feeling when he feels like we're happy when he finally made fire. You know, you're sad when he loses Wilson, and then you're upset when Kelly's a jerk and don't show up. Instead, sends her husband. Like, what kind of dirty move is that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I was going to talk about
And
that.
then it's do or do or die, but yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. This movie making you feel sad about a volleyball. Like.
Yeah.
I'm like, I guess I was more sad for him because I'm like, man, he lost his ball.
Yeah.
Like that's his only friend, man. Only friend he had.
Yeah,
Yeah, and
he
that-
needed it.
And at that point, it's like you don't really know. Like, I guess you know he's going to be rescued, but it's like, okay, Wilson is gone now, and now he's in the middle of the ocean by himself. Like, what happens next? But then,
That's the only person he knew on the island, man. I'm like, I don't know these fish.
Yeah. Well, then are we ready to get into random movie facts then?
Sure.
Random movie facts.
Okay. So, Tom Hanks came up with the idea with this movie after reading an article about FedEx. And he wondered what happens if one of their planes go down. And then that was the idea for Castaway.
Really?
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, then.
It must be nice how your random thoughts can get made into a movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's gotta be good. That's power right there.
I have some dreams that could be a really good movie, but you know.
I don't know, man, but I don't know if I want everybody knowing my dreams.
You're also not Tom Hanks.
Yeah, true that. Wow.
True.
Okay. FedEx was not a paid sponsor for this movie. And they were actually a little hesitant about allowing them to use it because they didn't want any negative effects from the plane going down to hurt them. But actually, it actually boosted their business from this movie.
But it's a movie, though. Like, I mean, what
yeah, like, how is that going to hurt their business? And like,
Companies
man, that FedEx plane crashed in the movie, so let me use DHL.
Companies are very sensitive about how their stuff is portrayed. You know, it's like iPhones can't be used by the evil person in a movie. Stuff like that.
Apple, come on.
Yeah.
Like people are going to be like, oh, the Joker used an iPhone, so.
Right.
That's going to make them want to buy the iPhone more. You know how many Joker fans there are? They're like, oh, Joker got an iPhone. I'm about to buy it.
I don't know. They're very sensitive about things like that. So, yeah. But, I mean, it worked out for everyone, so.
Yeah.
It's better. I mean, could you imagine it was UPS?
VR Brown.
Fucking Brown do for you.
Okay. So Tom Hanks got chubby for this movie so he could look like a, out of shape middle-aged guy. And then they paused filming for a year so that he could then lose weight and grow out his hair and stuff so that they can film the island scenes.
Interesting.
And then while the movie was on hold, the crew and director shot what lies beneath in between waiting for Tom Hanks to come back.
Okay. Yeah. I think he mentioned that too.
Yeah, that's interesting. I don't know. Nowadays they like to pump movies out quickly, so I don't know if they could do that.
Well, I guess it doesn't hurt because he managed to shoot a whole nother movie.
Yeah, that's also true. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, like if they had to wait and do nothing, that's money lost if you were just waiting around.
Right.
Yeah, for sure.
Feel that.
Yeah. Okay. So the idea for Wilson. Dumb how this came about. So a screenwriter decided to strand himself on an island so he can get a feel of what it would be like.
Why? But okay.
I don't know. I guess to find out what he would need to do to survive. He only did it for a week. But anyways, while he was there, a volleyball washed up on shore and he said, yo, we're using this in the movie. And that's where they came up with the idea for Wilson.
Wow.
Yeah,
Volleyballs always wash up on shores when you're.
I was like, so what would happen if that didn't happen?
Wilson wouldn't be in the movie.
Might have killed himself because he
might have killed himself.
He might have just.
It's a whole nother. You're right. It's a different type of movie. Okay. So they actually wrote dialogue for Wilson so that Tom Hanks could have. So Tom Hanks can have more of a natural reaction when he was talking back and forth with Wilson.
Yeah.
So he was responding to something. Makes sense.
I figure, he's just responding to his inner monologue. Like, I don't know, if you're by yourself, so you're just talking to the voice in his head, I guess.
I mean, really, after 4 years, there is definitely a voice in his head.
Wilson probably has a distinct voice. Like I bet he does not sound like Tom Hanks. He
Yeah,
probably sounds like he might even have like an island accent.
No. What's with you in the island accents?
I like the island accent, man. It's a vibe, man. You never know if they're talking or singing.
Okay.
Okay. So yeah, I think, Jan, we didn't talk about this a lot, but we can bring it up now. So the entire time he was on the island, there was no music played. And the first time you hear the score for this film is when he makes his escape off the island.
Okay. So now I had something about the score. And now this isn't, I guess it's technically not a movie fact because no one has like said this, but I kind of noticed it that the score for the film sounds similar to the music at Tony Stark's funeral. And the first few notes are definitely like almost the same. They have to be the same, just played by like a slightly different instrument or something. So because I don't know, because every time they played the theme to this movie, I just like get glimpses of Tony Stark dying. So I was like, is this the same kind of music? You know, obviously it's not exactly the same, but I think there's a similarity between the two.
Well, now I gotta watch Endgame.
I don't remember the music to this.
You don't have to watch Endgame. Just you'll watch the entire 3-hour movie until you get to this funeral scene.
I mean, it's an awesome movie. Why not?
Well, no, the same theme plays in the beginning of Endgame when Tony Stark is stuck on the ship in space.
Well, I want to hear the theme music at his funeral.
No, okay. And I was like, well, did Alan Silvestri do both of these? And he did. So
He did.
Yeah. You know, so there may be something to that. But if you want, like, listen to both of them. Listen to the Castaway theme and then listen to Tony Stark's funeral theme and see if it sounds similar.
Okay, that's an interesting point. I didn't pick that up, but I'm gonna check that out this week.
Me too.
Okay, so in the movie, they hinted at that Tom Hanks at some point tried to kill himself. But he backed out after he saw how awful it would be.
Yeah.
But apparently they actually shot the scene.
Oh,
but they cut it from the movie. Yeah. Now I kind of wonder, like, I would rather them have showed me that instead of them telling me that would happen. You know? I don't know why they cut it out. Did they think it was too graphic? Maybe. But it was just a log. I don't get it.
Maybe it was too graphic.
Yeah,
invoking like that is something that is strong, especially in movie and TV shows. Invoking like suicide is not something taken lightly.
Okay.
I mean, they did have a whole dead body though on there that he dragged and buried and went through his pockets and everything.
The body didn't kill itself.
Wait, what is?
But the body was still dead. That's a pretty graphic. Like, you ever like seen a dead body that's been in the water and bloated and crap like that? It was blue.
Yeah.
I don't think they want to show that on Disney.
Oh, see, another reason why it's going to end up on Hulu.
Oh, okay.
And he had no cash on him. There's no cash.
No, he did have cash.
What was he going to do with the cash? Use it
Oh,
for
well,
fire?
You don't carry any cash.
He did have. There was money in there.
I wasn't even thinking about the cash because, you know, what was he going to do with it? I just
you don't know do nothing with it. It's just the fact that, man, this dude carried no cash.
There was.
Yeah, in the year 1995, you had to. Right?
He definitely did. I would have took that guy's clothes though. Like, he only took the shoes. I definitely would have took that shirt.
Oh yeah, he would have been buried naked because it's like I needed everything.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I don't know why he didn't do that.
Body.
Or maybe because the guy was dead and wearing a dead guy's clothes is weird.
You stranded on an island. I don't think you care about weird.
Oh.
I mean, he was like nude the whole time. Maybe it was too hot down there for them clothes.
Well, I don't think the clothes lasted.
Yeah, also that. Well, he didn't know he was going to be there for 4 years. So yeah, I take the clothes. Okay.
Yeah, so
I got a couple of questions for you guys.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay.
Would you have tried to take your tooth out with an ice skate? And would that
No.
skate not cut up his mouth?
It would.
No, I'm not doing it.
He does need to get
I
that
would
tooth
not
out,
have
though.
done it.
Honestly, I'd rather take my risk with a tooth infection and die from blood disease.
No.
There's no way.
There's no way.
No,
I'm
have you
not doing
ever
it.
had? Because
when I was looking at it, I was like, he would have cut his mouth up. Like, there's no way.
he should have used something else, but having it something like where they needed to take my tooth out and the pain that comes from that, like, I don't think it was more of him worried about it getting infected. Like, that pain starts getting extremely intense
True.
and you cannot do anything. Like, so that tooth had to
True.
come out.
I have experienced that pain, and I mean, it will like wake you up in the middle of the night, and just excruciating. But I don't know if I would have been able to do that with an ice skate though. I don't know.
No, the
I
ice
definitely
skate,
could have used a rock and a stick.
something, a stick or something. I don't know. Or try to pull it. I guess he didn't have pliers. I don't know.
But okay, can we circle back to the suicide thing? That just reminds me, if he wanted to kill himself, he did not have to climb to the top of the mountain and hang himself. There was like 1,000 other ways he could have done this.
He wanted it to be quick.
That wasn't. You could cut your wrist with the ice skate.
That's not quick.
I don't know. First of all, if I got to do the work to climb over a mountain, I'm not about to jump off of it. It's too much work.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to.
Yeah,
I don't know. There was better ways to do this.
He was hoping that his neck just snapped from the force of the thing. Well, here's the thing. He really didn't want to die. And that's the thing. You know, he could talk about it. He thought about suicide. And honestly, he didn't want to die. That's why he didn't go through with it, which is why he tested it first. Because you're not testing it. Yeah, nobody's testing it. So he didn't really want to die. That's why he went about it that way. And that's why he didn't go through with it.
Good point. Okay.
That's it.
Next question. Do you open the last package? Like, I know why he didn't, but do you open the last package?
Oh, I would have opened every package as soon as they washed up on shore. I don't know why he took so long to open them. I was like, I want to see what's in here because it could be something that can help me survive.
Yeah.
Like, you still ain't open them back.
Yeah.
Forget delivering and everything.
But I get the last package because it gave him, especially since he's a delivery person, so we're in different situations, it gave him kind of a purpose, like, okay, like something to aim at, like, I'm going to get off this island so I can deliver this package, you know, which I understand.
Right.
Yeah, I understand. It was his symbol of hope. As long as he has a package to deliver, he still has a chance to get off this island.
Mm-hmm.
So I get why he didn't.
Survival materials.
But I definitely opened it up. So yeah, so the question is, like, what was in it? They never really say.
Mm-hmm.
There was a couple of jokes that there was like a GPS and a satellite phone and fire starter and stuff in there.
Yeah, everything you needed. It's like, if you just opened that package, you know how upset you'd be. It sounds like we're kind of in nitpicks.
Wait, no, these were questions I had, and I say that because I was like, are they just questions? They're not nitpicks. But I had one more thing.
All right.
Before we get to nitpicks. So talking about the package, there was a draft of the film where he does open up the package. It was written. They didn't shoot it or nothing.
Okay.
They decided just to leave it unsaid. But in it was a letter from Benita to her husband asking him to come back and a jar of salsa. So yeah. Not as exciting as a GPS and a satellite phone.
Of salsa? What?
Because basically her husband was saying he left because they had lost the spice of their marriage or whatever. So she was asking him to come. It was a whole letter. I didn't write it down. But basically she was asking him to come back, and then here's his favorite salsa so they can add some more spice back into their life. Something like that.
Oh, so maybe he would have come back if he got the letter and the salsa, but he never did.
I doubt it.
We'll never know.
I don't think
Yeah. So that was just a draft that they had written, not in the movie, wasn't included.
I like that it was a fire starter.
Yeah, I like it better that he could have got off this island 4 years ago if he'd have just opened the box.
Like a survival kit or
What's
something.
in the box?
Right. Okay. Nitpicks.
Yes, nitpicks.
Oh,
Okay, I've pick some nits. Do. All right, so I've got a lot of nitpicks with the beginning of his island journey. Okay, look, you're in survival mode. You land on a deserted island. Okay, you look around. You're trying to find out if there's anyone there. There's nobody there, right? Survival mode, dude. Shelter, water, fire. Why did it take him to like day 5 to decide to make a fire? What's wrong with you? Like, you need a fire. I don't understand.
Yeah, that would have been the first thing I did was build a fire and build a hut or, a roof or something. Those are the very first things I would do.
Right.
Yeah, I'm like, which he kind of did with the raft, which is okay. But I'm like, yo, food, water, shelter, fire. Come on. You gotta secure those things immediately. What are you doing?
He didn't think of fire until he tried to eat that crab. But apparently they're gooey when they're not cooked.
No, they're not cooked. It's like just
Yeah.
ignorant.
That was funny. Yeah, see, if I was stranded, I would have to try some fish because the shellfish is definitely going to kill me. The fish may not, but...
Well, I mean, I guess, but apparently you can't eat coconuts because it gives you diarrhea.
Well,
which is also true.
Yeah,
you can't just eat coconuts.
Oh, that's not good, though, because, yeah, you need the water. So you losing the water you're adding.
Yeah. Other thing he should have done was find a way to... He should have collected... Well, you got to build a fire first. Collect the salt water. Then you can build a system where you boil it down and collect the condensate from that. And you have a constant stream of fresh water because you don't know how much it rains on the island. Maybe it rained enough. I don't know.
It must have, because I think he was getting his water from the rain and the dew, mostly.
Yeah, but I'd also built that system, too.
Also, yes, rain running into the cave. Do not drink standing water. Do not... I'm going to say it again.
Oh, my goodness. I'm like, you just got all the bacteria right now.
I'm like, don't. I'm not a survivalist, and I know this.
I was like, dude, you see how torpid that water is? Don't drink
There's
that.
sand on the beach, man. Make something where you can get the water through the sand or something. I don't know. Or
sand is
make a bowl
filter.
out of coconut and catch the water before it gets into the ground.
Ugh. Yeah, he was making some bad decisions.
I'm like, oh, yeah.
It really was.
But the fire thing was huge for me. I'm like, why are you not making a fire? And then it took him too long to open the boxes. I'm like, you don't know what's in there. It could be something useful, like the dress.
Stop saving them. Yeah, like that net they use. Stop saving people's packages, man.
And the ice skates.
Yeah, those ice skates was a saver.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, it was. He chopped down trees with them, took his tooth out. Cutting open coconuts and everything. Yeah, you needed that.
Yeah.
Man, I was like, man, coconut is real hard to get open.
It was. He was throwing it at the wall.
It broke the rock. I was like, okay.
It kind of worked out for him when it broke the rock.
It did. It did.
It was like, dang, dude, I ain't no coconuts were that hard.
I know. I just was like, oh, well, this is just not meant to be.
Yeah. Then I was wondering, I was asking myself, would I have tried to sail off the island? I guess he had to.
At that point, yes.
Yeah.
Man.
What else would have happened? I mean,
you die on the island.
Yeah. I mean, either
but
you die on the island.
In the ocean, get eaten by a shark or something.
Yeah. I'm like, either you die on the island, you die in the ocean. After 4 years, I'm like, you take that chance.
Yeah.
Especially since he finally has something to make a sail out of.
Yeah.
You take that chance.
I say so.
Yeah.
Knock you some coconut bottles and peel out.
Mm-hmm.
Open. My biggest fear would have been like a big blue whale would tip me over.
Where in the ocean was he? Like, was there... So I guess there was no chance a plane or a boat went by there.
They were saying that they were searching in the wrong spot and it was an uninhabited island. They said 300 miles off of Cook, I think, something like that, or 600 miles off of Cook, which, by the way, there is no island out there.
Okay. Well, what I'm thinking is not the search party, because obviously they were looking in the wrong spot.
Looking in the air.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're gonna miss that every time.
Okay.
Feel that.
Well, also when he's like, "Oh, I see a boat," and he's waving in the night, I was like, "Hey, see if you had a fire, maybe it would have been better."
I'm like, dude, you have to keep a fire going day and night.
Right.
Like, or at least at night.
Flame, something.
Yeah. Like, just bad decisions.
And he wrote "help in the sand," where I would assume he'd know that the tide is going to come in and wash it away.
He knew it because he put the raft up, so he knew the tide was coming in.
Yeah, so like, why did he write "help" down there? He got all the gifts and stuff about the way of the water, but he wrote "help" down there where it was going to wash away. Like I said, UCLA by the time the water like washed up over. I'm like, dude, don't you know that?
Yeah, I don't know. Bad decisions.
Yeah.
Was that your last nitpick, Darren?
I think so.
All right. So.
Oh, the wife, or the.
She's on the list.
Okay.
She is on the list. Okay. How much of this does he actually survive? Okay, so let's say he survived the plane crash, which, by the way, looked really good. Like, I like how they did that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was good.
So if he survived the crash, does he also survive the plane engine and the storm? Like, I felt like this dude, like...
No, I think that's possible.
All three of those things? I feel like one of those
possible.
things should have killed him.
Of course it's possible, but that
anything's possible. But it's like, okay, he survived a once-in-a-million crash, and then a once-in-a-million thing of not getting sucked into the engine, and then once-in-a-million thing that giant storm didn't sink his little raft. I just feel like one of those things take him out.
Well, I think he died on the island because he went too long without water.
Yeah, he definitely went too long without water.
He died the next day.
Here's why I say he dies on the island. His leg definitely gets infected.
Yeah, probably.
Oh, yeah. His leg, his hand, he cut open.
Yeah.
It's like...
Yeah.
It was bleeding all over, and his feet was bleeding.
Yeah. I'm just like... And he cut his leg in water on some coral. Bruh.
Yeah.
He got all the infection up in there.
Yeah.
And he did nothing about it. He put some pressure on it. At that point, pressure ain't about to help you.
Yeah, you need to clean it out, but he don't have anything to clean it with. I mean, well, salt water. I don't know. No. No, he dies. Sorry, he gets taken out by gangrene. Yeah, that's the thing. You gotta not get injured while you're on the island.
Right.
Yeah, he did not do that. He got injured quite a bit.
Incidentally, Tom Hanks actually somehow he did end up cutting his leg filming this movie. And he's like, oh, it'll be fine. And it wasn't fine. And it was getting infected. And they had to stop shooting for like a month because he had to go to the hospital to get his leg fixed. This is how you know he dies. Because the dude could have died in real life.
The actor got his leg infected. Right, okay.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
Okay. After he gets rescued, his friends throws this party for him or whatever, right? So they throw this party for this dude. He spent the last 4 years alone, and then they just leave him?
Yeah, I was like, oh, y'all just leaving him alone?
Yeah.
He'll be all right.
Like, what is wrong with you guys? And then who served him a seafood platter?
Yeah, I was like, who brought seafood? Come on. You know that's all he had to eat.
Give this dude a burger.
Like, hey, you're going to have to teach me how to fish now.
No, don't make the joke. Don't do it.
I'm like, these people are awful. And I'm like, first of all, give this man a steak and a therapist. That's what he needs. Like,
yeah, where was the therapist? How come he did not see a therapist?
Yeah.
That should have been
He
an
definitely
immediate.
would need to see a therapist.
He's clearly still outside of his head because he turned around and bought a volleyball.
Mm-hmm.
He ain't right.
Well, that was his friend for 4 years.
Which is why he needs a therapist.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, speaking of that volleyball, so like the volleyball, well, Wilson was his bloody handprint, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so it was probably an oversight, but when he picked it up, the AVP was on the opposite end of where they ended up putting his hand.
It was upside down. Yeah.
It must have been an oversight.
Yep.
And his fingers were spread. They're closed.
There were a lot of oversights in this movie. The pilot that died was born in 1949. It was on his ID. He put 1950. There's a lot of stuff. I mean, if you're just watching it, you don't notice. But apparently, Amazon likes to tell you everything that's wrong.
Oh, I do like little Amazon's little facts. They're interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, cool.
We can talk about Kelly now. Is she not the worst person ever?
For that,
Ugh.
for two things, okay?
Mm-hmm.
All right. One, not going in. Okay, I understand that it's hard that the person you thought has been dead for 4 years is finally back. But is it so hard for you that you can't go see him? Like he didn't have a horrible life for the last 4 years? And maybe he will want to see the person he thought he was going to marry.
Would have came and saw him, even if they did move on.
You have to go see him.
Yeah.
How do you not? Like, I mean, what does that say that if you don't? Like, he obviously thought about you for that entire 4 years. I mean, even
You
though he had
can't say
nobody else.
that you don't even have feelings for that person no more. Like, you still, some feelings would have been drawn up at that point. You talk about somebody you loved, you thought was dead, and it's back. Like, come on.
Yeah, but not only did she but then you seen your husband and he like, oh yeah, I'm her husband. Like, did you see the look on his face like, what?
Dude would have got punched in the face if it was me.
Yeah, like, it should have been her to tell him that she moved on, which is understandable. But for you not to show up and then you just send some random guy into the room, that's messed up.
Yeah.
That's not cool.
That's
like,
messed
I
up.
would have been PO'd.
Yeah. And then when he shows up to her house, then she just having this conversation with this dude, like, where her husband at? He at the top of the stairs hoping she don't leave him or something. She's like, oh, they sleep.
Right.
That man wasn't sleep. He heard that whole conversation.
Also,
he was up there looking in the window while she was out there in the Jeep.
yeah, and then her little almost leaving her family deal. I was like, look, I can excuse the kissing between you two. I understand. It's all right. Even if I was her husband, I would have been like, you know what, I'm gonna let it go, because fine. But your whole, oh yeah, he's driving away, and you're like, oh, I'm gonna run after him and drive off with him.
Yeah,
what?
I'm like, girl, you got a baby at home, don't you?
Excuse me, yeah. Now you've gone too far in the other direction. What's wrong with you?
Oh man, she was the worst. And there's no way he heard her calling in the rain.
No, and then if I'm Tom Hanks, I wouldn't have gone for that anyway. I'd be like, no, go back to your house with your family.
Yeah, that's what he told her to do. He was like, no, you got to go home.
Yeah,
you got to go back home.
Yeah. So, what do you think she did with? Yeah, what do you think she did with that ring he gave her?
She pawned it.
I was about to say that. Pawned it.
She really is the worst.
Yeah, she kept the car though. You still have the car. Here you go.
Even though they were using it as a second car, so like now that the car's gone, her husband's gonna get home and he gonna be like,
yeah, I just thinking that.
Share a car.
I was thinking, I was like, so what do you go to your husband like, hey, I need a new car now because I gave it to, I mean, look, I get that technically it was Tom Hanks's car, right? But you know, since you probably need that vehicle, considering you had a baby seat in it, maybe discuss like, hey, it was his car, I want to give it back to him so you guys can know what's going on rather than there just be a missing car.
Yeah, so I gotta say that marriage between her and what was his name? James? No, that was his dentist. What was his name?
I don't know.
Mr.
I
Big
don't remember.
from Sex and the
Mr. Big.
City. Yeah.
Wow.
That marriage don't last.
No, probably
No.
not.
I don't think so.
It doesn't last at all,
I don't think
which
so.
is fine. Because Tom Hanks hooked up with a girl from the ranch, and then she's alone.
All right. I know Tom Hanks didn't work for FedEx for 4 years, but do you think as good gesture from FedEx that they should like give him his salary for those past 4 years or something? Like somebody's got to do something because he can't just be, he's a homeless person, right? If nobody did anything for him.
Yeah. You know, sort of like a
Yeah.
deeper dive into him getting back to normal.
Yeah. Because it's like he got off the island, but if there's no governmental help or if FedEx decides to be generous and give him something, then he's just on the street.
But okay, you gotta know,
Yeah.
in things like this, he's getting all kinds of donations and everything else.
Yeah, okay. You know what? Our our country relies too much on GoFundMe, okay? Everybody else helping everybody else, which is nice. It's good. But yeah.
It is.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it seems like, at least from how it was presented, that FedEx would take care of him a little bit. And then he did have his friend whose wife had died.
Mm.
Right. Yeah.
Ah, man.
So-
I was thinking that. I was like, he was going to call a doctor. Not saying that the doctor would have been able to do something for his wife, but
But he never got a chance to.
yeah.
A chance.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. Overall, I mean, this movie's kind of sad.
Yeah.
It hurts.
Yeah. It is.
It hits you there, man. It does.
That's why the Tony Stark funeral music sucked. I was like, why are we playing this right now? Yeah.
Yeah, it makes you think, though, man. Like, it was a rough one.
Yeah, but if we ever get stranded on the island, guys, look, fire, water, shelter.
Water.
Yeah.
Water is
And
more
open
important
any
than food.
packages that you may be stranded with.
Yeah.
If that just so happens to be the case.
Yeah.
Open the packages.
Yeah. Yeah. If you find suitcases, open them all and take everything.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, that show Lost was definitely a ripoff of this.
Really? Oh, I never watched it.
Me neither.
I never watched Lost either.
I never watched it. It was a whole thing, though. People was all into it, and they were all that. I'm like, I'm not with it.
Yeah. I tend not to watch the shows that everyone's like, oh, did you see this? I'm like, nope. And now I don't want to.
Hey, what about that show Survivor? Was that like...
Survivor actually came out before this, and there was some concern that with Survivor, I was like, would that hurt the movie? And they're like, nah, it's cool. This movie made like $430 million, so
Oh, wow.
yeah,
Wow.
did
did that
really
too.
good.
I mean,
Good
but
movie.
Survivor wasn't really like surviving on an island, you know.
I mean, no, it was it was just some crap.
Yeah,
Social
it's just It's an entertainment reality.
Yeah, because nothing bad is going to happen to those people because as soon as they get hurt, in quotation marks,
yeah, they get
who's
them
going to
out.
come out the bushes and take them to safety?
Well, yeah, there's that, but like the Survivor, like they had challenges and stuff like
Also that.
Yeah.
yeah. But
Yeah.
no, what would be closer is like you ever see like Naked and Afraid?
Yeah.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
that would be closer. Of course, but except for they do take you away if you're gonna die. So
Yeah.
I never seen it.
Yeah, they're not gonna let you die on TV.
yeah. If you ever go on that show, Firestarter, just bring a Firestarter.
I mean, if
Yep.
you have fire, that's
It's
you're
everything,
almost
man.
set.
You're good.
Yeah.
You get to cook food, something. You can cook something. Like
Look, you can sanitize. I mean, you can
Yeah.
heat water up to wash up with if you want to. I mean,
yeah, because that gets you your water too.
Yep.
so yeah, fire people, fire.
Actually, would coconuts catch on fire? Could you boil water in a coconut?
If it's hard enough, like I mean, I don't think they're flammable, are they? Like naturally.
I mean,
I don't
eventually
think
it
the
would.
fuzzies on it though. That fuzzy part wouldn't catch on fire.
That would, yes.
Oh,
If you
that
think the
would.
shell is
Once
hard
that-
enough where it won't.
Yeah, what if
say
you,
once that-
because
once that
you got the
fuzzy part
outside
burns
shell.
off, and then- Yeah.
Oh, the
Once
green
that-
shell.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know.
Even like maybe for a one-time use. I mean,
It would have to be like a one time, or yeah, because eventually it's gonna break down with the fire.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Or
Yeah,
because
one
you
time
heat a
use,
rock
but-
underneath it, and so it's not like directly where the flames are.
You could do that.
Oh man, like stoking a stain. Stoking a stain.
Steak on a stone.
Remember that?
Yeah, yeah,
Remember that?
Steak on the stone.
yeah. Where you cook a steak
Yeah.
on a stone.
On a stone.
Yeah.
I used to like that place, man. But, you
I
know,
only been there once.
Yeah, I know. I remember. It was for your right before your wedding, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I remember that. It was dope.
Yeah, it was dope. Yeah.
Absolutely. All right. Are we rating the movie?
Yes.
I'm going to give it a watch while voting close.
Wow.
Oh, really?
Interesting.
Well, I mean, I don't know. It's a decent movie, but like when I was thinking of rating it, I'd pay for that. I'm like, I don't know. Would I pay for it though?
I'm gonna give it. I'll pay for that because
Yeah,
I.
did pay for that. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, you know, actually, if in the
Yeah.
theaters, yeah, okay, fine. Yes, I'll give it. I'd pay for that. It was good enough for that.
Yeah.
I'd definitely pay for
Yeah.
that. Like, it was a good movie.
Yeah, it's a good movie. I have no
I was
faults
gonna
with it.
give it. I paid for that too.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
I
See, my
would say
kids
it's
even sat down and watched a little bit of it.
Oh wow.
Ooh.
I'm sure my son would not.
They saw the
Wait.
storm and the water and stuff, so they were like, "Ooh, what that?" Ooh, you know.
Feel like, it's not an action movie.
No, that's not.
Yeah, definitely not an action
Watch it.
movie.
Maybe you learn something about surviving.
Don't do what he does.
Yeah, don't do what he does. All right, so 3D Rivals Race. This I would pay for that. It's our second highest
Yep.
rating. Nice. Cool. All right.
So basically a 4 out of 5.
4 out of 5, 8 out of 10, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Solid rating. Solid rating.
Yeah. So, if you, what were I saying? I don't know. That's our thoughts on Castaway. So, if you guys have your own thoughts, let us know in the comments
Have
below.
you ever been a castaway? Did you survive?
Oh yeah, what did you do? You probably started a fire first. But yeah. You can let us know, or if you're listening in podcast form, make sure you leave a rating and review. We'd like to know what you think. We definitely appreciate that. And as always, thank you so much for listening. Peace out.